You know that feeling when you check your brokerage account, and instead of panic, you feel nothing? Most people think reaching financial freedom takes $1 million. They think it's about slow, steady, safe index funds for 30 years. But that's a total lie fed to you by the system to keep you broke. There's actually a number, a tiny, specific threshold that completely changes your reality. See, we're taught to play by the rules. We're told to diversify until our returns are watered down to nothing. It's dead money rotting away while inflation eats your future. You think you're being responsible? You're actually just being compliant. But what if you stopped betting on the market and started betting on anomalies? The biggest fortunes weren't built by playing it safe. They were built by breaking every rule in the textbook. In a second, I'm going to show you the math behind the rule breaker portfolio. But first, you have to unlearn everything your bank manager told you. Are you ready to see why your safe strategy is the riskiest move you've ever made? Let's cut through the noise. Now, look at the screen. This is what most people call investing. It's a slow bleed, crawling at a pace that keeps you working until you're 70. They tell you to diversify so you don't lose, but in reality, you're just diversifying your path to mediocrity. If you want real freedom, you have to find the gaps in the market that the algorithms ignore. It's not about luck. It's about asymmetry. Think about it. Why are you paying fees to an index fund manager who bets on the same companies as everyone else? That's not a strategy. That's a subscription fee for underperformance. The rule breaker approach is different. It's about finding the one asset that actually covers your life, not just your retirement account. When I first realized that my recurring expenses, my Netflix, my Spotify, my basics, could be paid for by a small, focused bucket of capital, everything shifted. I wasn't just saving money anymore. I was building a machine that paid for my freedom in real time. It's a psychological game. Once you see that first monthly dividend cover your subscription, the fear of losing money vanishes, and the hunger for total control takes over. Are you still playing by their textbook, or are you ready to build your own engine? Let's break down the mechanics. Most investors are obsessed with the big win. They hunt for that one unicorn stock, praying for a 10x return that never comes. They treat their portfolio like a lottery ticket. But here is the secret the pros won't tell you. You don't need a unicorn. You need velocity. It's about how fast your capital returns to your pocket, ready to be deployed again. When you look at, you see a life controlled by the 9-to-5 grind. It's a loop of dependency. But look at, the shift is subtle, but the impact is massive. By choosing assets that produce immediate cash flow, you stop investing and start harvesting. See that? That isn't just a number on a screen. That is your ticket out of the rat race. Every dollar of passive income is a brick you're removing from the wall they built around you. If you're still waiting for a decade-long compounding miracle, you're missing the point. We are hunting for efficiency, not just growth. We are looking for the exact moment your assets pay for your life, your bills, your coffee, your peace of mind. In a second, I'll show you the exact blueprint I used to reach the target shown in. It wasn't luck. It was math. So, how do you actually build this? Forget the get-rich-quick noise. We're talking about building a cash-flowing machine. It starts by identifying high-yield assets that the average investor is too scared to touch. Most people run from volatility, but a rule breaker runs toward it because volatility creates the entry points for massive gains. You need to focus on what I call the 3 pillars: consistency, scalability, and asymmetry. First, are these assets paying you monthly? If you're waiting for a yearly dividend, you're losing time value. Second, can you scale the position without needing a massive capital injection? And third, is the upside significantly higher than your downside risk? Most retail investors are chasing 7% returns while inflation is chewing up 5%. That's a losing game. You need to target a minimum of 15% annual yield through a mix of dividend growth stocks and cash flow positive anomalies. This isn't just about picking winners. It's about ruthlessly cutting losers that are just taking up space in your portfolio. You have to be cold. You have to be analytical. And most importantly, you have to be willing to be wrong in the short term to be right in the long term. If you're not willing to look different from the crowd, you'll never get the results of the crowd breaker. Now listen closely. The math is the easy part. The real battle. It's between your ears. Most people fail because they lack the discipline to stay the course when the market gets noisy. They see a dip and they panic. They see a rally and they FOMO in. A rule breaker does the opposite. We view market noise as a signal to be ignored, or better yet, an opportunity to exploit. You have to develop what I call institutional patience. You aren't playing for next week. You're playing for the compounding effect over years, while your daily cash flow keeps you fed. It's a paradox. You have to be aggressive enough to break the rules, but disciplined enough to never lose your cool. If your heart rate spikes when you check your account, you're either over-leveraged or you don't trust your process. True freedom isn't just about having the money. It's about having the emotional bandwidth to make decisions that 99% of people are too scared to touch. It is about moving from a state of constant reaction to a state of calculated execution. You are building a system that works while you sleep. The fear you feel right now, that's just the growing pain of shedding your old identity. Keep going. We've covered the math, the psychology, and the mechanics of breaking the rules. But here is the final truth. The twist nobody tells you. You spent this entire time looking for the perfect strategy, the perfect asset, the perfect timing. You thought that if you just had the right blueprint, the money would start flowing and you'd finally be free. But the reality, the system wants you to think that freedom is a destination you reach. It isn't. It's a state of mind you claim today, even with all the cash flow engines in the world. If you're still waiting for a bank account number to grant you permission to be happy, you're still a slave to the system. The rule breaker isn't the guy with the most zeros in his account. It's the guy who realized he didn't need the bank's permission to start playing their game in the first place. You're already free the moment you stop caring about what the textbooks told you was safe. So, are you going to keep chasing the illusion? Or are you going to stop waiting for permission and start building your own reality? The choice was never about money. It was always about courage. Now, go break the rules.